proprio in tema di disarmo nucleare ci si può interrogare, vorrei domandare appunto per iniziare all'europarlamentare Donato a che punto è e qual è la posizione oggi dell'Unione Europea. Grazie.
Grazie molte per l'invito a questa importantissima tavola rotonda, a questa conferenza che si inserisce in un contesto geopolitico davvero difficile, forse inedito negli ultimi decenni, di grande crisi e di grande preoccupazione da parte dei cittadini, ma anche della politica, in particolare della politica europea. Io non posso che partire dai ringraziamenti verso chi ha organizzato questo incontro, in particolare all'ingegnere Rotunno, al vescovo di Assisi, al sindaco, a tutti coloro, soprattutto al cardinale Tomasi, tutti coloro che hanno consentito la realizzazione di questo importante incontro con la partecipazione di esperti russi e americani, che sicuramente vuole anche dare un segnale di primo inizio di un dialogo, primo riavvicinamento per sedersi, anche se oggi soltanto virtualmente, ad un tavolo per discutere di possibili strategie distensive in un momento in cui le tensioni invece sono in crescita. Io, se mi è consentito, vorrei iniziare almeno la prima parte del mio intervento in inglese, perché credo che la dimensione internazionale di questo incontro sia cruciale, quindi voglio indirizzare le mie considerazioni proprio in particolare agli esperti, a coloro che ci seguono anche da remoto. I think that in order to answer the question that I was asked, it's important to evaluate properly the role of the European Union in this framework. The European Union has at its basis and in its basic values on which it's founded, the purchase and the pursuit of peace and justice. The last official document that was approved by the European Parliament is an initiative resolution of the Parliament just about the control, the multilateral control of armed destruction weapons, mass destruction arms, and with the objective, with the goal of allowing a disarmament. But unfortunately, this resolution, which dates, let me just check it, December 15, 2021, could not be implemented in following months. And I think that the first consideration we should assess today, after all of we have heard by the experts, is that it's unrealistic to think that we can restart a discussion, a serious and pragmatic discussion about disarmament, nuclear disarmament, if we don't stop using conventional arms. As it's been very wisely said, the first principle to allow this sort of discussion and this sort of road to peace is that of reestablishing mutual respect. And mutual respect is just what is missing today. I really regret that our European institutions have totally and fully abandoned all diplomatic efforts, all diplomatic work in order to find a solution to the Ukrainian crisis, and are only, following the road to escalation of armaments and of tensions with Russia. Of course, there are different points of view, different perspectives on the European scenario. There are the Baltic states who are most concerned about the possibility of expanding of Russian aggression. There is the US perspective that sees Russia as a threat, as an enemy historically. There is the Russian perspective, which sees Ukrainian situation as an existential threat to its own safety. And there is the South European perspective, which is, I think, the most confused one, especially among our citizens. And it's just our citizens that we should reply to. We should listen more. I think that nowadays the common feeling and desire among European citizens is that of finding a pacifical outcome from this crisis. And this cannot be achieved as long as the European Union just relies on foreign pressures and on foreign advice in choosing its political guidelines. And this is what I tried several times to remark in all my parliamentary activity, even uptaking controversial decisions, such as decisions to vote against all of the 10 packages of sanctions deliberated by European Parliament against Russia, and against the decision to consider Russia as a terrorist state, and of consider all decisions that the one of establishing an international court for war crimes in Ukraine against Russia. I think that all these escalating provocations against the strongest part in the conflict nowadays is a real very bad signal that endangers and destroys any possibility of restoring a stable and a possible environment in which pursuing peace and justice. And let's not forget that European stability, also financial stability, is a key issue to be possible for the European institution to pursue all its goals described in its agenda. Environmental goals, growth, economic recovery after the COVID pandemic, and so on. Without geopolitical stability, markets are in turmoil, and we see that every day lately. People are in turmoil. We see a lot of protests across Europe, and not only. And all of this chaos growing is a sign that, a signal that we cannot go on this way. So I think that today's work is a fundamental start to stimulate our governments, in which hands is the role of deciding to reactivating diplomacy, to stimulate our governors to rethink their positions and their strategies. Because it's not just an ethical demand, it's just not only a values issue, it's an issue of life or death. Because the risks of spillover of the conflict from the Ukrainian borders is real. And it's growing heavier every day, day by day. So we cannot responsibly undervaluate that. We must be aware, and every single politician in Europe must be aware of the huge danger we are running into. And we all have the moral obligation to stand for peace, to stand for democracy, to stand for respect of all our people, our citizens, and all citizens of the world. And that can be done if all of us, we stop seeing other countries, other peoples, other persons as enemies. But as Pope Francis said, we must remember that we are all brothers and sisters. And first of all, Ukrainians and Russians are brothers and sisters. They were a people that shared the same origins, the same culture, the same religion. But unfortunately, nowadays, also the Orthodox Church is under attack inside Ukraine. There is a very unacceptable action by the Ukrainian government against the Ukrainian Orthodox Church because of its supposed connections with Russian ones, even after their explicit declaration of condemnation against Russian aggression. Well, all of that must be addressed properly by European institutions, by European governments. And the role of experts, the role of political advisors, both at Russian and then at US level, is crucial nowadays, because only by a careful consideration of all issues at stake today, we can, as politicians, really realize what the possible outcomes of this situation may be. So I really thank these experts whose speeches are very important to considerate. And I think that all of us, especially EU governments, must learn to reject external pressures. Let's not forget that all political actors are daily submitted to lobbyist pressure, and the arms construction lobbies are very strong and very much involved in this scenario. And also external political pressures. We cannot hide behind a finger, denying that the US role in all of this situation is crucial. Someone said in the interventions that this one we are seeing in Ukraine is a proxy war, where Ukraine is just a battlefield of a conflict which in reality interests US and Russia. And my concern is that the whole Europe may be the next battlefield for this proxy war. So before that happens, we must stop that. And we must start by stopping the use of conventional weapons, because it was correctly said, nuclear weapons and conventional weapons today are strictly connected. There are conventional, not nuclear, not strategic weapons that have a very high destructive potential, much higher than in previous years. So we cannot evaluate the potential, the aggressive potential of these weapons. But we cannot even forget that each weapon kills people, that every day a lot of human lives are dying, are falling, and all human lives are worth of being defended. And our fight for defense of human lives is the very bottom of our mandate in front of our citizens and in front of our European role. So I think that, I hope that this conference will be just the first of a long series of meetings where all experts, all diplomats, all politicians who have crucial roles in this situation may meet and may discuss how to come out from this dangerous situation. And I hope this will be the true outcome of this work. Thank you.